Alright lads, we've got another Oblivion Remastered mod video. Make sure you stick around because you'll be very pleased with some of these mods. They're pretty awesome. So firstly we're going to show some of the armour. Let's go. So an absolutely awesome armor mod that just came out recently. I think it's the first standalone armor mod, and this is the Breton hero armor, which is from ESO. And if you've ever seen the ESO trailers, one of the Bretons in that trailer wears this armor. Now it looks absolutely incredible, and like I said, it's the first standalone armor mod in the game, and it does not replace anything. Actually getting it to work is a bit finicky, but once you get it to work, it's pretty awesome. So this is usable on both male and female characters. So this is created by Tenebris, and it's done an absolutely awesome job. So you can actually find this in the Necromancer's chest inside Moss Rock Cavern. So right at the back of the end of the cavern, you will kill a necromancer and it will be located just in the chest. So you need a lot of little requirements for this, and like I said, it is very finicky to get it working. Once you've got it working, it's a nice little arm mod to add to your little mod collection because it's pretty awesome. So make sure you grab this one because I will be keeping this in my mod list, and I can't wait for more updates because it's absolutely incredible. So make sure you grab this one. Another incredible armor mod is the Dark Holy armor. Now this will replace the mithril or glass armor. So I've chosen glass because I don't like the look of glass armor in the game. And yeah, like I said, it will completely replace that armor type depending on which one you don't prefer. But mithril I prefer over glass. Anyways, the actual armor itself looks pretty cool. It's a gothic kind of styled one, and it's kind of like Templar themed, I've got to say, but it's very more gothic. So if you are going for that kind of gothic character or even a vampire type character, it'll go quite well with that. But this armor looks pretty awesome. Texture quality is absolutely incredible as well, and overall is a very nice armor, and I will be keeping this one also in my mod list. And I can't see what else they can do to this armor to make it that much better. The actual look of the armor just looks so good, and it kind of fits quite well into Oblivion. So yeah, the actual colorway of the actual armor, the black and red, does look very nice. And even if you want to play as like a Mythic Dawn kind of character, it probably will go quite well with that. So it's got a lot of crosses on it, and yeah, overall a very great armor mod that has just been released on the Nexus. I can't wait for more armor mods that are slowly coming out because this is pretty incredible. So you make sure you grab this one because it looks absolutely awesome. And as you can see in third person it goes, so it looks pretty cool, and you've got a little skull on the back near her booty. So yeah, make sure you grab this one, it's pretty awesome. Now, do you want to look like a cool Viking warrior? Well, I've got you covered with this mod. This allows you to wear shields on your back. So now when you actually unequip your shield, the player character and other NPCs in the world will actually wear them on the back, which is pretty awesome. So from the actual vanilla version, where when you actually are not using your shield and you're not in action mode, you will be holding it in your left hand. But now, as you can see, when you actually unequip it, it will go straight to the player character's back, which looks absolutely incredible. So this works with every type of shield in the game, and like I said, it also works with the NPCs too. So this is a must-have mod because I do like shields on the back. So for this mod, this is a combination of 3 different mods. Now this is Wingless Crusader helmet, Pauldronless Crusader Cuirass, and Worn Crusader armor. So all 3 of these mods will pretty much get this desired look for this armor. So this is the Crusader armor from the Knights of the Nine DLC, and yeah, with these 3 mods activated, as you can see, it looks slightly different. Now there is no winged on the actual helmet, which I think looks so much more better because then it looks like an actual Crusader helmet. Then the Pauldronless one removes the Pauldrons because I feel like they stick out a bit too much. But obviously if you do like the Pauldrons, don't download the Pauldron mod. And then the Worn Crusader armor, which will make it a bit more worn, I remove any of the gold trim off the armor. Now I do actually prefer this, and it looks a lot more, I say, realistic and a lot more used. The armor actually looks like it's been used and very worn compared to the one you get in game, which is a lot more brighter. It's very white and it has a gold trim around pretty much the entire armor. So this kind of makes it a bit more realistic and more medieval style, I've got to say. So I actually do prefer this. Now with these 3 combinations of mod, I think this mod, well, this armor looks so much better than the vanilla counterpart. So yeah, if you download these 3 mods, I think every single one of them do a very good job at making this armor that much better than the vanilla version. So yeah, make sure you grab this one because I do actually prefer this than the vanilla armor, and it looks like a proper Crusader armor now. So make sure you download this one. Now this mod will completely remove the Pauldrons from the steel armor. Now I'm not a big fan of the Pauldrons in this game. I feel like for a lot of the armor pieces, the Pauldrons are very large. So with this mod, it will actually remove the Pauldrons from the steel armor. It's more of a preference thing. So if you do prefer the Pauldrons on the steel armor, obviously don't download this mod. But with this mod activated, as you can see, there is no Pauldrons. If you are like a light armor character or some kind of archer character, this goes quite well with that kind of build. So yeah, I do just look a lot better on a female character, I've got to say. But yeah, I do prefer this without Pauldrons. I feel like the armor actually does look a lot better. And yeah, like I said, the Pauldrons in Oblivion, well, in my own opinion, I do not like them in a lot of the armors.
87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams.
So with this mod, Spider Daedra hairstyle for humans and elves, it will make your female characters and also male characters that much more prettier. Now this actual has physics, so when your character runs around, the hair will actually flay about because it is completely taken from the Spider Daedra in vanilla Oblivion. So as you can see, I'm choosing this hairstyle, and when the character moves around, the actual hair does move around, like obviously with physics, so it looks pretty awesome. So your hair is not just static. Now yeah, this is not one of the only armor hair mods that I've got for you. I've got a few more that actually have physics as well, so this is one of the cool ones, and obviously I feel like it does look a lot better on a female character. As you can see here, it does go quite well with a female. So yeah, like I said, physics is enabled on this one, kind of like the SMP mod you've got for Skyrim, but this obviously doesn't require any sort of SMP mod. Now we have Colovian cuts, hairstyles with physics. So these are 4 different types of hairstyles that also have physics. I think the physics on these are a lot better, and these are custom made by the mod author. So yeah, these are 4 different types of hairstyles. It will replace this one I am hovering over the top of, so you can actually go into the presets on the actual Nexus website, and it will give you 4 different hairstyles you can choose from. There will be pictures on the screen that will actually tell you which hairstyle looks like what. So as you can see, these hairstyles all have physics, so when your player character moves around, the actual hairstyle will move as well, which is pretty awesome, like I said, because vanilla Oblivion hairstyles are actually static and they will not move with the player character unless you are using mods. Now this is the ponytail one, which is my favourite from the bunch, and the ponytail will move around when the player character jumps or runs quite a lot faster. As you can see, when I'm moving left and right, the actual hairstyle will move with the character, which is a very awesome thing to do because like I said, it's static. Oblivion hairstyle is very static and it will not move unless you've got a mod just like this. One of the other hairstyles is half up, half down casual bun, which is this one here, and as you can see, this also has physics. So this is probably my second favourite of the bunch. But yeah, there's about 4 different hairstyles you can choose, and it will replace that one hairstyle, also meaning any of the characters in game that have that hairstyle, their character's hair will be changed to the one you've chosen. So yeah, overall this is a very good mod. I do like these hairstyles and I do like the physics on them, because obviously vanilla Oblivion is all static hairstyles, which is kind of a shame. You'd thought they maybe have actual physics on the hair because it is a next gen game, but these are the hairstyles that you can choose from that are a bit more zoomed in, so you can actually see which kind of hairstyle you prefer. So yeah, very good, well done mod, and I do like the physics enabled on these. So now for all you people who love elves, this is a great, gorgeous female Bosmer character preset. Now all you need to do is download this and put it into your save game files, and this one is called Cuirass. Now after downloading it, it will be in your save games files, so all you need to do is load up the actual character, and this character will be yours. So you can actually customize this yourself. So if you don't like the hairstyle, the eyes and all that kind of lovely stuff, you can change it yourself. So if you're not very keen on the hair or the eyes, you can actually change it and put it to your preference. Now this is a very good character mod that if you use any elven characters, this would be a great preset for a very pretty female Bosmer character. So yeah, overall a very good mod, and I feel like this is probably one of the best looking presets on the Nexus at the moment, especially for an elf character anyway. So I probably will be keeping this one for my elf character, and I'll probably be using this for the rest of the video. Overall it looks very good, and I do like the hairstyle that they've chosen for it. And with the actual requirements, you need young textures revamped, I think it's called, where it will make the younger textures when you can use the slider and make your character look younger that much better, where the character will actually look a lot younger now and the face isn't as wrinkly. So yeah, I actually did change the actual eyes so they're a bit more purple because you couldn't really see them because of the dark shadows. But yeah, overall a very good character mod that will make your Bosmer character that much more prettier. So make sure you grab this one because it's very awesome. Now, are you unsatisfied with all the male builds for all the male characters in Oblivion? Now, I've got you covered with this mod. This is no more milk drinkers, muscle body types for all male races. So, yeah, this will pretty much make all of the male characters pretty much more hunky and a bit more bulky. So if you do like big, strong, bulky men, this mod will be right up your alley. So as you can see here, this pretty much makes them a lot more beefier and looks like they've been hitting the gym hell of a lot more than they have been doing. So yeah, as you can see, the abs are a lot more defined and the pecs are also more defined, and also the leg muscles and the back muscles as well. So if you do like big bulky men, this would be straight up your alley. So yeah, if you do like this, make sure you download it. The vanilla body types in Oblivion are not very muscly. Now with this mod, it actually looks like you've been injecting skooma straight into your veins. So yeah, a lot more bulkier and yeah, a bit more steadied up. So yeah, if you do like big muscly men, I think you'll really like this mod. So yeah, it kind of looks similar to Skyrim's actual male characters, but even when you had a skinny character, they were very muscly at the same time, so very awesome.
A doom sweeps the land.
So a mod for all you combat lovers out there, this is a simple lock-on mod that will allow the player character to lock on to any enemy in-game while using a sword or any kind of weapon other than pretty much everything. I think actually Magicka works too. So as you can see now, when I'm clicking the F button, which is the default key, he will actually lock onto any enemy characters in the game. It's somewhat clunky because it's a fairly new mod, so it's gonna be, and obviously we don't have actual mod support for the game at the moment, but as you can see, the actual cursor is locked on to this enemy. So yeah, when you are fighting, you can actually kind of lock on to any enemy type in the game. So it's very similar to Skyrim's, I think it's Precision mod, where you could actually lock onto any enemies. So yeah, as you can see, it works somewhat well, and it's a bit janky. Obviously with bow and arrows, it does also work. I'd recommend probably changing your key to unsheath a weapon from F to another key, because it is defaulted at F. So obviously you will be putting your weapon away every time you want to lock onto a different enemy. So as you can see, I'm fighting these Imperial Watch Guards here, and he would be locking on to these guys fairly simple. The actual cursor in the center of the screen isn't really following them and tracking them as well as I thought it'd be, but like I said, it's a very new early stages mod. So yeah, if you do like to lock on to any enemy in the game, this would be right up your alley for that. And like I said, it does actually work for bow and arrows. I've not tested Magicka, but for a sword and bow and arrows, it will work. I think with a bow and arrow, when you're at a actually quite far distance, it won't work and it won't actually accurately hit the enemy. But when you're close range, it will work, but then there's no really point of using a bow at extremely close range. So another great mod is HitStop, and this will actually slow down the player character when hitting an enemy. So you can see when I'm hitting this guard here, the actual weapon itself does slightly stop and the player character stops. So it's like an extremely quick slowdown when you hit an enemy. So it feels a bit more meatier and it feels a bit more like you're actually hitting someone. As you can see, the actual character is slightly slowing down every single time I hit a weapon off the enemy. So it's a very cool mod, and it's very similar to the Skyrim mod. I think I want to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure that's called Precision. But yeah, when paired with the other mod, it does go quite well. So when you can lock on and then also use HitStop, it goes quite well together. So as you can see, every time I'm hitting this enemy here, the actual screen slows down for like a split second, just so it feels a bit more impactful when hitting an enemy. Obviously, it does not work with bow and arrows and Magicka because there's no reason for it to. But when you are using a sword of any type, it will slightly slow down as soon as you hit the enemy. So like I said, so it feels a bit more impactful every time you hit an enemy type in game. So when you combine these both mods, it goes quite well together. So it's a bit more preference. If you don't like this, don't download it.
This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the third.
So next up, we've got a very cool and cozy mod. It's a miscellaneous mod, and this is called County Gates by Endoc, and this will pretty much include little gate things at every single county in the game. So as soon as you enter a new county, you will find one of these just located outside of it. So it's a very cool little mod, and obviously if you're not using your map, you can actually see which kind of town you're going towards. So as you can see, we've got a Bremer gate just located on the border of Bremer, and then we've got one of these gates, I can't even pronounce that name, just on the border of this county here. So as you can see, every single one has one, and it's slightly different from the next. So it's a nice little cozy mod that I think you should just download because it's pretty awesome.
Looks clear. A trap!
So this is one for all your lovers of player homes. This is Lakeheart Manor, a new player home, and this is located just outside the sewers that you exit from the very beginning of the game. Now this is a pretty much a nice little mansion manor thing that is located just outside of the sewers. So it is one next to right close to one of the ruins, so you will be fighting bandits pretty often if you are quite close to the ruins here. But all you need to do is speak to the lady behind the back and she will give you the keys. You can find it either in a sack or you can pay enough gold just so you can actually get inside. So it's a very cozy player home mod. You've got stables located just on the left side of the actual manor where you can store all your horses, and the actual building itself is absolutely massive. So inside it's extremely cozy, and you've got a lot of containers where you can stash all of your armors and weapons. So as you can see inside, the lighting is very cool, and you've got a nice little ascent table here where you can restore your Magicka. A nice cool little fireplace, which I think the store's slightly a bit too close because you might burn your feet on it. But yeah, overall a very cool mod, and if you've got any followers you can probably chuck them here so you can have a nice little house. Sadly you can't have kids in this like you did in Skyrim, so you can't have a nice little cool family inside this house. But if you do want a nice little manor right at the start of the game, you can grab this one. So make sure you've got enough gold, but if you don't, you can actually get the key from a sack just located at the back of the house. So obviously if you download this mod, it will kind of be a bit unfair because you can actually get this manor right off the bat as soon as you leave the sewers. So as a level 1 character, it's pretty powerful. But yeah, overall a very cool mod, and I think it's very extremely detailed. You've got your bedroom here, and it's a very nice cozy little player home mod. I won't even say it's little, it's fairly large. So in first person, as you can see, it's very cramped in, but it's very well done. And you've also got a balcony just located on the outside, so you can actually look over into the Imperial City. So it's a very good spot of where it is because you can see the Imperial City, and then obviously you can go to the markets there too. So yeah, but like I said, because it's located just outside the sewers, it's a bit powerful because you can literally come here as a level 1 character and have a player home. Now for you people want a bit of nostalgia, this is the OG Loadscreen Replacer that will pretty much give you the OG loan screens from the original Oblivion. Now I do prefer these, are pretty much exactly the same as the ones from Oblivion with the same kind of art. And as you can see, every time you go into a loan screen, it will show these. So it's very cool, and I do actually prefer these than the new loan screens. I don't know why they didn't go with this aesthetic, but yeah, these loan screens look so much better than the new Oblivion Remastered ones. So make sure you get this. Now for all the people that don't like the look of the paint horse in Oblivion, this will fully change the paint horse to a buckskin colour. Now I'm not a big fan of the paint horse, actual horse colours, so this will completely change it to like a brown beige colour, which I actually do prefer. So any paint horse in the game will now be a buckskin colour. It's as simple as that. It's a nice little cheeky mod just to change the look of the paint horses, which is one of the first horses you get in the game. I do actually prefer the look of this colour on this horse. So yeah, it's a very cheeky little simple mod that will just completely change the look of the paint horse. So yeah, it's one of them. It's a bit of preference. So if you do prefer the paint horse colour, obviously keep the actual paint horse. And then if you do like the Buckskin one, you can download this mod and completely change it to a browner, beige colour, which personally I do prefer than the normal paint one. Now this mod will actually bring a bit of life to the Oblivion map. Now the Oblivion map is like a brown colour, and it looks like a normal map with its actual brown and beige kind of colours. Now this new mod here will actually completely change the map to a more coloured version, which I personally prefer. Like again, it's a preference kind of thing, so if you prefer the OG map, which is a brown colour, you can keep that, or you can download this mod and get a nice colourful one. So I actually do prefer this, and it kind of shows you what regions look like what when obviously in game. So as you can see, a lot of these regions are green, but in the far left corner nearest to Hammerfell, it's actually like sandy, and then the top side nearest to Skyrim, it's your snowy regions. So if you're unsure of which regions are what, now this map will actually show you what regions have what biomes. So it's a very cool little mod if you do want a colourful map, which will bring a bit of spice to your maps. Very simple, but very effective.
And watch you and worship the ground you walk on. I'm going to follow you, I won't get in the way.
This mod literally just dropped as soon as making this video, and I was right at the end of it. I've got to definitely show this one. So that preset I showed previously at the very beginning of the video, I think this just beats it very slightly. Now you need the RaceMenu utilities mod to make this work, but this mod looks absolutely incredible. I think this preset looks that bit much more better than the other preset I showed previously at the very start of the beginning, and your female Bosmer character looks absolutely astounding now. So with this mod, you can have the prettiest Bosmer character you can actually get in Oblivion. It looks awesome, and it's also using the other mod where the actual physics on the hair just flare around, and she's a ginger. So she looks absolutely gorgeous, and if you do like pretty Bosmers, make sure you download this mod because it's absolutely fucking awesome. Anyways, cocksuckers, I'll see you in the next one. That was a fucking bonus mod. Now fuck off because I'm done.
You walk on. I'm going to follow you and watch you and worship the ground you walk on. I'm going to follow you, I won't get in the way.